That's better. I looked like a complete lunatic before I brushed that. Made it look like I was having a bowl cut from the 90s. Ugh. I already lived through the 2000s, I don't need to live through that. Whew, that's better. Hello everyone. I haven't done a video in a very long time. And there are a multitude of reasons I can give for that. My last video was my deaf awareness video, which I think I put out about 7 or 8 months ago now, which kind of feels a bit weird. I was kind of hoping that this year I'd actually crack on and do a few more videos as a little diary for me, really. Turns out I was a complete fat and utter liar. I finished college. I finished my 3rd and final year of college this year, so obviously I've been very hectic. I'll use that as an excuse. And I finished that back in June, early June, mid-June basically. I was kind of done before most other people were, so I kind of just finished my work and then left. And yeah, I've had quite a chaotic life since then. A lot of shit has happened, which would explain my absence, my little hiatus. Little is a very strong word there. But I'm here now, and I'm in what is possibly the nicest Airbnb I've stayed in for a long time. Yeah, so a lot has happened. It's a bit of a weird one because it's normally I'm quite open about everything on this channel. I talk about a lot. I talk about my health, my mental health, and all of that jazz. But it's been a hell of a ride this year, and I will be grateful when it's over and I don't have to think about it anymore. So for now, currently, I'm in Hastings, specifically St Leonard's on Sea, which I'm not gonna complain about the view from my chaise lounge right now. I've seen worse, but I've realised that it's a lot nicer than home. So the plan is literally, I have no plan. I've come down here for a little break, away from everything. It's a bit of it's a holiday to forget, really. Not in the sense I'm gonna forget the holiday, but it's a holiday to forget the shit I've been through, personally. But yeah, we needed a break, and this was somewhere close-ish, and far away enough that I don't have to think about life in general. Wow, I'm really explaining myself here. But yeah, so we have literally bugger all plans for the week ahead. I'm just more interested in falling asleep right now. So I mean, the weather is absolutely balmy right now. It's gone from really bad rain to absolutely sunny. Now you can't see me. Ha ha. I mean, look. That's grey. And now it's sunshine. So I feel like that perfectly describes British weather as a whole. Just crazy and a bit all over the place. Erratic is a good word for that. But yeah, I apologise for this ramble, and that I can't effectively speak because it's been so long. I will get better, probably not. And I'm pretty taken aback with how life has been very chaotic recently. I think we all get points in life where you'll have a really bad period. However, there's bad period and then there's my life. it's going to be a really weird time. I never actually openly discussed why or what I've actually been up to, because as previously mentioned, I finished college. So if you have been keeping up to date, you would know my original plan was to go to university this year. Alas, I am not. I thought university would be this kind of, I don't know, breakaway, getaway idea that I was really keen on studying, and I wanted to further my passion for what I love doing, and I really love studying animals and biology, and thought, you know, I'd go to uni and study it, see a new place, move out, do all the kind of things that most typical teenagers, adults would do. And yeah, my health got really bad. I had quite a bad period of just so much pain and fatigue. Like, I'm used to a baseline of pain. This was way worse. And my mental health has been absolutely abysmal, with the onslaught of new diagnoses, which is kind of shit. Because I thought by now I'd just have my diagnoses and just be able to coexist and not worry about anything, but oh no, life proves you wrong. So yeah, I had to postpone university, which is always in my head as this kind of, you know, oh, next year we'll be at university, but it's kind of not getting my hopes up. And that sounds really negative, but when you live a life like mine, you tend to think, I'll just succumb to what the next thing is, you know. I'm not pushing myself too much. I'm not trying to overburden myself. I'm trying to rest. Ideally, it's not what I want to do in the gap year, but it's, you know, it's something at least. And so yeah, I've been acclimatizing to a normal life since June, and I've been struggling. The sort of, I don't know, coursework keeps you motivated in a sense. Well, for me anyway, it does. Coursework allowed me to sort of, I don't know, develop a sense of purpose and worth, and I could look at my work and go, oh, okay, that's really cool. And now I don't have that. It's quite weird to just not have something that's my key focus. So yeah, I've been binge watching a lot of shows. That's my focus. And generally looking after myself, which is something I haven't done in years, because I've just been on this kind of autopilot mode for like 5 years now. Five-ish years. And trying to detox myself of crap. You'll notice I'll be swearing a lot more. That's a good thing, because I know for a fact, oh, ambulance. You'll notice a lot more that I'll be swearing, mainly not because, you know, whatever. I condone swearing in the sense that, you know, it allows me to vent and it allows me to articulate what I'm trying to say rather than being, you know, posh. Another van. Busy road. But yeah, I don't know why I'm going with this. I think I'm struggling, is what I'm trying to say. But for anyone who is concerned and who is like, oh, she needs help, I know, I am aware. So yeah, that's my catch up. I don't know why I felt the need to ramble on for 11 minutes. I'm gonna hate cutting that down. But we'll see how this week goes, and how much of it I actually spend relaxing and how much of it I have like fidgety hands and And just in a very tiny corner is the words, "I like cheese." Hello, mate. Awfully content just sitting there, aren't you? Yeah, probably the latter one. Nice little piglet's house. Finally, a house that's suitable for me with such a small door. Set, go.
Oh, that's took ages to load down.
Who's gonna win?
I'm pretty sure those acorns just sunk straight to the bottom. No. Oh,
That's you, isn't it?
no, that's me. I thought you were gonna win.
What? I think my stick might have been too dense.
What did you put in?
I put in the stick. Oh no, that's my stick. Stick boy came second, nice.
Cool.
Right here is Eel's house, and inside are the teeniest little bench and table. Whoever designed this place had it very well thought out. However, there is one slight problem bringing a disabled person to a woodland like this. It's not very accessible and my heart rate is going through my chest. So, if I end up in A&E because of cardiac problems later, it's no surprise really. However, at least I have a view if I have a heart attack. Oh, there comes another one. Chill. The other ones, it's just like he's like a security man where he's like, "Can I check your bags, please?" I thought I was a vlogger in this family. Oh dear, the snow. This is the weirdest thing I've ever done in my life. He looks like me when I'm having a bad day. Quite relatable. Stop hiding from me, I can still see you. And here we see the greatest animal of all, a pied wagtail inside the flamingo enclosure. This is definitely what I paid my money for. And we're women, I can multitask. We were never given pockets. We learnt to multitask.
Look out there.
Good morning. It is currently Sunday and the weather is a bit misty and grey, which is preferable for a day like today. Last night we went to Hurst-Monceau, which is basically a massive science and observatory centre, and it was really good. The only downside to it was that the disabled access wasn't up to a high level. I think with a lot of places they tend to say that it's disabled friendly, and then when someone like myself goes there, it's really not. They did have ramps, but I wouldn't recommend it for someone who is using a manual wheelchair, purely for the fact that one of the ramps I would say was like 1 meter tall, and it didn't join properly at the sort of lip edge of the pavement, and my back wheels ended up going straight in the air. And there were a few other instances where like the doors were a bit too tight, or there were other ramps that didn't make sense. The paths were not lit at all. It's a really good place, a really good science observatory centre if you're like me and absolutely love all of the sciences, but disabled access is quite concerning because obviously it was the middle of the night, not middle of the night, it was quite late at night and it was pitch black. There was no lighting, no sort of like sort of maps around the area as well. Like if you've never been there, there was no guidance really. They kind of just assumed that you knew where you were going, and it was quite tricky to get around, so bear that in mind if you do end up going there and you are like me and you are an ambulatory wheelchair user. It's one of those disappointing things when you go to places like that, because you sit there and think, you know, if you're up to a really high standard of like disabled access, or you're used to it, you kind of sit there and think that everywhere else will have the same sort of access features, but not all of them do. We went through Drusilla's the other day, which was obviously the zoo that you saw, and that was really good. I had minimal issues with them and their access. Like pretty much everything was flat. Everywhere had really good like paving. There was a couple of like areas that were a bit hilly, but it wasn't major. There was one big concern in one of like the cafes, that their disabled toilet was not big enough to hold my wheelchair, and it was also in an alcove, which made no sense because my chair essentially is as big as that, if not a bit wider, because it's an electric wheelchair. And it was really difficult to get into. So if you've got like a scooter or something, it's going to be a really big problem to try and get into. There are other like disabled toilets, don't worry, but it was just in that one cafe that seemed a bit dodgy, considering the other toilets were down like this really like open access corridor, so it was kind of like a last minute thought. But yeah, that's been my week. The access around the town that I'm currently staying in, which is St Leonard's, is pretty good. Like it's on a hill, I kind of expect that, but like down by the seafront, like there's pretty good access. I'm not going to deny that. I believe there is like a ramp onto some concrete area of the beach, so so you can get down there. I think I haven't tried it yet because I've been using the steps, and that is like the worst thing for me now because my legs are killing me, which isn't good. But yeah, today is more of a chilled day, and I am not 100%. I think I push myself far too much, which isn't a surprise, but given the fact that I'm not, you know, I'm not exerting my bodily energy as much as I thought I was, I'm kind of reaping the benefits of, you know, fatigue and pain. I've got really bad dislocations recently. I think I subluxed my sort of joints in my pelvis, so my hips, because they were really painful yesterday, and my general meds weren't helping that. I did my shoulder in the night somehow. I don't really question that area anymore. So yeah, this is the joy of living with hypermobile syndrome, because it just never stops. So yeah, the pain has been pretty bad. I've been double dosing, not double dosing in a bad sense. I took more meds to try and cope with it, but it just wasn't touching it. So I don't really know what to do. I'm trying to rest as much as humanly possible, but the problem is when you are like me and you are kind of surrounded by people who are very fit and able, you kind of just want to go along with it and just, I don't know, do adventures and go out and have fun and stuff. So it is quite frustrating having to sort of limit yourself, especially when you're on holiday. And I think my brain at the moment is so conflicted with emotions, and I'm not in the best place mentally. I've had a good few days where I'm fine and nothing's, you know, too major, but I have had quite a few days where it's not, I don't know, I don't feel like my brain is in the right place currently, so it's a bit of a difficult one. Also, I thought I'd show you some of my serotonin joys that I've got since coming here. So we've got, what's that? Oh, that's a map, because, you know, that's really helpful. So this was all from Pooh's Corner, which was the cafe we went to on the second day we got here, and they did some really lovely little postcards that I bought because I needed some joy in my life. And then I bought 2 sew-on patches. If anyone actually knows me, they'll know that I've got one of the wackiest denim jackets in the world, and I decided that I needed more, so I am going to look forward to my mother sewing on those badges because I can't sew for my life. And then this is a tiny little pin badge that I got. I don't know why I have this kind of little obsession with pin badges. I collect a lot of them. I have quite a few, and they used to go on my college lanyard, so I used to have quite random ones, which a lot of people got attention to, and they were like, what are these things? I'm quite annoyed that I can't put any on my lanyard anymore because I'm not there, obviously. But another one I got was this one from Hearst Monster, which is the Apollo 11 mission anniversary. And there was another one, oh yeah, this one, which I thought was, oh crap, this one, which is really cute, I thought was quite nice. I used to have a galaxy bag with loads of little pin badges and that on them, but I realised that I stupidly put a Blue Peter badge on it, and I don't know what happened, but it must have dropped off when I was in college and I never found it again. So I'm kind of tempted with writing to them, but it's been like 3 years since that happened, so I don't think I can get it back and explain my circumstances. But I was quite gutted with that because it wasn't a rare one, it was just an ordinary one that I got. And also when you've got a Blue Peter badge, you feel like bragging about it. So no, I don't. I have one, but it's not the original. It's like a diamond pin badge or something. So I stopped doing the badges on the back because I realised that it's quite easy for someone to just slip it off if they wanted it, or like it would just fall off because, you know, put a bag in a car and it rubs against the seat, it's easy coming off. And then because I am a sucker for stuffed toys, I'm prepping myself for the day that I actually get my own little flat or whatever, that I wanted to decorate my room with some of my favourite animals. So this was from Drusilla's, and I thought I loved the lemur exhibit, or not exhibit, but enclosure. Doing animal management, you realise how weird some of the places in the country are when it comes to like husbandry and ethics and everything else. My teachers would be so proud of me. And when I went to Drusilla's, I was really interested in seeing how they sort of preserved the species, because they had some really like unusual ones. Normally with zoos it's kind of like your generic like lions, tigers, elephants and that, but they had some really exotic species that I'd never seen before. Someone called a serval, like a serval is like a cat essentially, and they're quite rare. You don't really see them in zoos, only for this one anyway. And someone looked at this serval enclosure, there's a massive sign, and the cat looks like they look different, and someone walked up to this enclosure and said, "Oh my god, it's a tiger," and I nearly wanted to slap them, purely for the fact of how I was just like, how do you not, and it's right there, it's right there. You had every opportunity to look at the thing. It does not look like a tiger. The servals look like house cats. They look like big fat tabby cats. So when she said it was a tiger, I wanted to slap her. Poor woman, if she ever sees this. She did have a kid, so I think it was easier than explaining what a serval was, but when you study animals for 3 years consistently, you realise how people just tend to make up stuff as they go along. It's really weird. We had it in the open days where people would come into like the rooms that we had, and people would just start saying that some species of animals were this, and it's like, actually it's not, because we've got this like huge label on this enclosure that clearly states this animal is not what you say it is. And they're like, yeah, but I know better. And it's like, no you don't. Did you get a diploma in this? No you did not. This is why you don't deal with the public, because you get quite angry with them after a while. But one of my favourite exhibits was the sloths. I love sloths. I think they're kind of on par with koalas. They describe every ounce of energy that I have. None, literally none. So I got myself this sloth, which has like weights at the bottom of it. It has like beans at the bottom of it, so it looks like I'm grabbing his ass right now. But he's really soft, and I thought that I could, I don't know, put him on a shelf or something. But they had, the weirdest part about their like that soft toy collection is that they had various different like versions of the same animal, but they all had different textures in their fur and like lining and that. So if there was like one that I really wanted, there was a big lemur that like had all the colours, all the markings, everything was perfect except the eyes. The eyes looked really dodgy, and it kind of put me off because I'm quite a perfectionist when it comes to animals. So if it doesn't really look like the animal, I'm not gonna buy it. I bought a koala stuffed toy in IKEA, didn't know they did them, and it had the mum and the baby attached to her, and I thought that was really cute, like it looks perfect. And they had some really apt dinosaurs in there as well. But yeah, so it was quite weird, and they had like a couple of other lemurs that had like almost, you know, like teddy, kind of this sort of texture. Is quite strange to have a toy like that, but I found one eventually that was smaller because I thought I don't really need two massive things to like lug home with me. I can just sort of put this on my shoulder and make it look like I have a hug from a sloth, basically. But yeah, that's my ramble because I needed serotonin, and and they actually bring me a lot of joy, weirdly enough. So yeah. Ooh. Well, that's the bus. There's a bus route literally right outside our doors, so all we hear is the bus, like sort of lugging on and off. Yeah, I'm totally interested in this view. Absolutely. Could not be distracted at all by mythical creatures. Nope, not me. Definitely shouldn't do this one-handed. Take me! I want to press.
Go without shoes, personally.
I wouldn't, personally. Right? Oh, that is refreshing. I feel like everyone is cocky until it comes to the sea when you're actually in it, because I am beyond pain right now. Whoa, that is something else. Ah, come on, there's no big ones. I was wrong. I've just completed the cutest set of stacking stones, and I'm going to introduce them to you all. So here's the dad, here's the gay aunt, and here is their adopted dog that they just somehow managed to have a lavender little family, okay? And we all deal with it because they live by the seaside. Everyone thinks they're a bit quirky, but everyone adorably loves them. I may have gone a bit overboard. So now there's like an entire clan of just stone people, including a disabled person who's got their assistance dog with them.